peoples. If you've been watching these, you know I've been doing each video by the phase of Marvel, and I was doing phase 2 video, and I kind of forgot I was doing it in phases, so because I was so used to just watching it, recording my thoughts, and so I completely forgot that phase 2 ended. So yeah, you'll just see my videos on Civil War and Doctor Strange after that. I'm watching Guardians 2 tonight, but I'll still be discussing my thoughts on the movies. And you'll see, and when you see Civil War, my reaction, I'm still at my aunt's house, but I went back to my regular house. No, here's the regular set, my room. So, yeah. So enjoy the video for phase 3. Hello, peoples. We just got done watching Captain America Civil War, and I know when I start these videos, I always start them with me already watching the first one. But yeah, I just record whenever I'm done watching it because I don't want to put too much effort into these videos. No offense. But yeah, Captain America Civil War, not gonna lie, it's my favorite Marvel movie. And it probably will still be by the end of this, is what I'm guessing. But heck. Who knows? They get a lot better after this. So I'm very excited to see what the future holds. Well, obviously I've seen these before, but yeah, wow, this movie it has so much good, I don't even need to explain myself. But yeah, next up is Doctor Strange, and I'm very excited to see this one again. My aunt saw this one as well because, you know, we're doing these together, and it's fun to see. She's seeing all these for the first time, so it's always excited to see a person see this for the first time. And we've been watching them so much, she's kind of felt like numb to it. So she says they all just feel like they just go together now, to the point where she can't even say if she likes a specific one or not. But just seeing what she said, I think she liked it, but it's not her favorite. But yeah, and most people, this is probably most people's like number 5 is what I'm seeing most common. But yeah, my personal favorite. But I feel like with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, everybody kind of has a personal favorite. It's not like there's one so up there that it's their personal. It's not a Marvel movie that stands out because they're all so fantastic. But yeah, that was Captain America Civil War, and next up, like I said, Doctor Strange.
You'd think after all this time I'd be ready. But look at me, stretching one moment out into 1,000, just so that I can watch the snow.
So that was Doctor Strange, and I'll say each time I watch this movie, it gets better and better each time I watch it. And the last time I watched this was maybe a couple months ago, and I thought it was like, I probably would have given it an 8.5, and now I'm giving it a 9. My only little problems is that, well, of course the villain sucks. Cornelius was such a weak villain. Dormammu was I don't want to say, the Dormammu I've come to bargain stuff was clever, but overall, Dormammu just didn't feel threatening. And Doctor Strange could feel a little Tony Starkish with him when they say, especially like when he's in an argument with someone and people are like, "You're an ego" and stuff like that. That's very Tony Starkish. But Benedict Cumberbatch brings his own light to the character to the point where I kind of forgive that. But yeah, the action's really fun, it's really clever, and I really enjoyed it this time. Like I said, each time it gets better and better, and this is a really great Marvel solo outing. Next up is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Yep, I'm watching these back to back. That was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and I'd say it's a really, really fun movie to watch. But the thing is, I can nitpick the crap out of it. But I'm going to choose not to, because I don't want to ruin a movie that I already enjoy. It's a really fun movie. It has a lot of character work for Rocket, and Yondu's scene at the end gives me chills every time. And James Gunn does definitely do a lot of character work in this movie, and definitely has to do with like a lot of symbolism and stuff like that. And he's a really fantastic writer, and his style is very clear. But like I said, sometimes you can nitpick it. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's sometimes a little inconsistent with its jokes. Sometimes they'd like pull off a joke when a character's in immediate danger, and it and so the stakes don't feel high sometimes, especially with Drax being flown through all those trees, and he's just fine. And Drax is getting stabbed with Yondu's arrow at the end. Like, oh, he's just fine. It's a joke. That sometimes stuff like that isn't working because realistically, if they didn't have any jokes and he survived that wouldn't make any sense. If he wasn't all beat up, that wouldn't make any sense. Because if you saw Yondu with his arrow going like that would have went right through Drax, and just little things like that is what kind of gets to me sometimes, but overall I'm not going to let that get in the way. And yeah, I really enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And next up is, let me look at my collection, SpiderMan Homecoming, one I really enjoy. And yeah, next up is SpiderMan Homecoming.
You can call me Karen if you would like.
Hey Karen, what else can this suit do? What? Maybe we should run that refresher course. What the f? And that was SpiderMan Homecoming. I will say, I love this movie. It's probably one of my favorites in the MCU. Definitely top 5 as of now. Heck, I might like some future ones more, but I'm never gonna forget that theater experience when I first saw this in theaters, and Liz's dad / Vulture opened the door, and the whole entire theater just gasped. And my God, I remember losing my mind as well. But yeah, each time I saw it after the theater experience definitely got a little bit worse. But I'll say this time I watched it, maybe about the 6th or 7th time I've seen this movie, I've got that theater experience again watching this, and I love this Spider-Man movie. I grew up in a time where, like, I was born in 2004, where it's not like I have a generation of Spider-Man. I just kind of always had Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland. And I'm not saying that my opinion is the right opinion, but I felt like I'm kind of being born where I don't really have a biased opinion on who's the best. But I'd say Tom Holland or Tobey Maguire, because overall I'd say Tom Holland's the best Spider-Man, but Tobey Maguire definitely, they're both so different. And it's hard to say who's better, but I'm definitely leaning towards Tom Holland because it's just, I don't want to say the perfect blend because everyone says that, but it kind of is just Spider-Man. Like, when you read the comics, I barely read any comics, but when I imagine reading comics of Spider-Man, I feel like would I rather see, do I see more Tobey Maguire or Tom Holland? I'd say I see more of Tom Holland from what I've seen of the comics. But yeah, really love this movie, and probably still up there on my Marvel list. Tomorrow is Thor Ragnarok. Very excited to revisit that, and yeah. What's possible? That was Thor Ragnarok, and probably the most fun movie in the whole entire MCU. I'm never going to forget when I saw this in the theater. I was in a packed theater, and as funny as this movie is, of course, the whole entire theater was dying the whole entire time. So it was a really fun theater experience. And this movie, I've seen this movie a lot, so many times, to the point where I can't review it. I've seen this movie so many times where I don't want to say I'm numb to most of the movie, and that is kind of accurate. Like, that's how much I really liked it the first time. But I'm just going to go off my thoughts of when I first saw this movie, because I can't really, I don't know how to describe it. I really feel like I can't develop an opinion again, because obviously my first initial reaction was so strong. I've seen it so many times after that. And of course, I really enjoy the crap out of it now, but it's like you're used to it. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Obviously, that's a good thing because I've seen it so many times. But I'm just going to go based off of when I first saw it. I loved it. And back then, it would have probably been one of my favorite Marvel movies. And it probably is still in top 10. But yeah, I can't really show anymore how much I like it just because I've seen it so many times. But yeah, I decided to end my phase 3 video here because there's a lot of movies in phase 3 and my phone only has so much storage. So yep, this one was how many movies? 5 movies, I believe, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 movies will be on the next phase 3 part 2 video. How did my opinion change? So yep, anyways, like, share, subscribe, and stuff like that, and adios.